January 2014. Here's my 2 cents take on Dallas Buyers Club. I might have saved the best for last. I've seen all the Oscar-nominated films that for Best Picture of 2013. Dallas Buyers Club was my last film, and it could be one of the best films of the year. I'm leaning a little bit towards 12 Years a Slave, but Dallas Buyers Club is a pretty solid film. The story of survival and learning through that journey of survival, how you do whatever it takes to keep on living. I guess that's the theme of the film. But what makes this film so great besides the subject matter and the performance is the pace of the film. And what I mean by that is that this is definitely a character-driven film because of the characters and the performances that they play. But the plot is the most important element of this film. Usually in movies like this, they're where the performances are top notch. They kind of like have these kind of like corny scenes where the plot is not like pushing forward. They're just giving a moment alone to these characters to give some sort of like Oscar-worthy speech and to contemplate their life in a bedroom or contemplate their connection and love towards the main characters. There's none of that in this film. Every single scene, every single moment is serving the plot and pushing the plot forward. And that's the whole irony of this film is that basically doing that gives the better performances. I guess the moral of the story is that if you serve the story and everything else will come together. It's like when I do the readings for the Wild Sound Festival, Screenplay Festival, my job is just to serve the story the best way. And then if you do that, the performances will kind of mold together because everybody's banding together to serve the story. If everybody's out there for the individual selves and they're not serving the story, that's when things kind of like tear apart. But all the performances are so good is because they're all kind of pushing the story forward, and that's the whole irony of it. There's no big Oscar speech between any of the characters, and Jared Leto basically is a lock to win Best Supporting Actor, and Matthew McConaughey probably has a 50-60% chance of winning Best Actor, which is kind of amazing considering this is the guy who starred in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and The Wedding Planner, for example. This is a guy who made a lot of lightweight films. I mentioned it in the TV review of the True Detective that he's in right now. This is amazing performance this guy's pulling off in the last few years. It's one of the great comebacks of all time, which is ironic even too because the comebacks are critically acclaimed, not commercially acclaimed. I'm sure he made a lot of money making those pretty terrible romantic comedies back in the day, but this is real acting. This is what he's doing. So that's what's so great about this film. What I didn't like about the film is really nothing, but it's the actual what the plot of the film is. Basically, what we haven't learned. Basically, this is a film about the AIDS era between 1985 and 1992. How the government and certain pharmaceutical companies were serving themselves at their own bottom line instead of helping out individual care. And so basically, people had to go rogue, so to speak, to order to survive, and that's what's happening even today with cancer and et cetera and et cetera. So it's like we still haven't learned from our mistakes of the AIDS crisis back in the 80s and 90s, and that's what's so tragic about it is that we can watch this film and go, yeah, that's what's happening today too, which is very tragic. But great film, great performances, one of the best films of the year. That's my review.